जय गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावन चारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंदान त्रिभुवने कोरि जार चरण वंदन जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंदान त्रिभुवने कोरि जार चरण वंदन नीलाचले शंख चक्र गदा पद्मधार नडिया नगारे ढंडा कमंडलुकार नीलाचले शंख चक्र गदा पद्मधार नडिया नगारे ढंडा कमंडलुकार केह बोले पूरबे रावण बदिला बोलो केर वैभव लीला प्रकाश कुरिला केह बोले पूरबे रावण बदिला बोलो केर वैभव लीला प्रकाश कुरिला जय जय जगन्नाथ चिरानंदा त्रिभुवने कोरि जार चरण वंदन निराधार भावे बे गौरावतार हरे कृष्ण नाम गौरा कोरिला प्रचार श्री राधार भावे बे गौरावतार हरे कृष्ण नाम गौरा कोरिला प्रचार वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरे जोड़ा हाथ जय गौर श्री कृष्णा से जगन्नाथ वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरे जोड़ा जय गौर से कृष्णा से जगन्नाथ जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद त्रिभुवने कोरि जार चरण वंदन हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय जय जगन्नाथ चिरानंद त्रिभुवने कोरि जार चरण वंदन नाना शास्त्र विचार नैक निपुणौ सधर्म संस्थापकौ लोकानां हितकारिणौ त्रिभुवने मान्यौ शरण्यागरौ राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्द भजना नंदेन मट्टालिकौ वंदे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ वंदे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ वन्दे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of, because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna. Shad Goswamis of Vrindavan ki Jai, Nectar of Devotion ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining in for our Nectar of Devotion session. Today Abhinav Gaurang Prabhu will take us through chapter 9, completing the last couple of paragraphs from where it was stopped yesterday, and then giving us a complete summary. So a lot of questions about Tulsi Puja, when we have to pluck the leaves of Tulsi Maharani and all that, which I tried to answer through voice notes yesterday on the WhatsApp groups. So you can, today will be a summary class of chapter number 9. So you can ask your questions to Prabhuji in case time permits after the summarization. And I would also request that please keep your questions till the end of the session. Because yesterday I saw in the beginning of the session so many questions in between, and yesterday you could not even read a paragraph from the textbook, right? So let us give the speaker the opportunity to complete the session as the speaker has planned, and then we will definitely give you 10 minutes at least, right? We will try to complete by say 11:50, and then give you all 10 minutes for question answers, right, Prabhu? Would that be possible? Yeah. So I would request devotees to jot down your questions, right? It always helps to make note. Otherwise, we just ask, we just hear, and it just goes off somewhere, right? So it makes sense to write down, and then please ask your questions in the end, respecting the speaker and allowing him or her to speak through the entire session, what has been planned, and then ask your questions, right? We are welcoming questions, right? I was hearing somebody was saying, in ISKCON only we are asking at the end of the session, any questions, like that. We are so confident because, Prabhupada has given all the answers in his books, right? So we'll definitely give opportunity for all of you to ask questions, but we'll reserve it for the last 10 minutes of the session, right? So with that, I thank you all for joining in, and I beg forgiveness for any offenses, mistakes, and I would now kindly hand over to Abhinav Gauranga Prabhu to take us through, and then the last 10 minutes will be question answer session, where we can bombard Prabhuji with all the questions that we have. Okay, thank you so much for your cooperation. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Over to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. And yes, indeed, like first of all, Mataji, it was a blissful kirtan. Like for the entire moment, I just forgot all my stress and anxiety, of my workplace actually. So thank you so much for that. And yes, continuing on the questions part, what Mataji was saying, I would like to narrate one very, quickly. I would like to narrate one incident. Like when Srila Prabhupada was there in Adelaide, I think he was in Australia, and he was giving this lecture, and a lot of people from the press were also, assembled over there in that particular meeting. And there Prabhupada has clearly mentioned, like this we have on the recording as well, that each and every ISKCON center, whether it's a big one or a small one, it is a university in itself, right? And each and every one of us are actually cordially invited in any of these centers. You come here, he said, you come here, read our books, argue with us, right? And till the time you don't get all the answers, you can keep on arguing with us, and then once you are fully satisfied, come to Krishna consciousness, right? That was the mood of Srila Prabhupada. So yes, we actually encourage people to ask questions, because the reason why I am in Krishna consciousness today is because all of my questions were answered, right? So please do that. And yes, moving on to the session today, before we move on, I'd just like to chant some pranam mantras. Those who know it, please try to repeat it after me on mute. And those who don't know it, please just listen, because listening is also very, very purifying. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gururo Shri Utapadkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखम करोति वाचालम पंगुम लंघिते गिरि यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्री गुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरं हरि ओम तत्सत् Okay, so I'll share my screen. Someone please confirm once you are able to see.
Yes, we are able to see.
Yes. Prabhu, you can make it full screen. We are able to see that slide view.
Okay, so sorry, don't go by this para 1 to 9. I just let me see. So as usual, before beginning, I would like to dedicate this session to our founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whatever I am going to speak, I will merely repeat from what I have read in the books of Prabhupada, what I have read in the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, what I have heard in the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, and what I have learned from my Siksha Gurus. So in this particular session, I have to finish off what was remaining in chapter 9, and then I had to recapitulate on some of the main points. So what I'm going to do is that I'll touch upon some of the main points, and towards the end, just 2 or 3 items of devotional service were left, which were very small ones as far as the book is concerned. Although these items in itself are basically an ocean, and it takes years of practice, to master even one of these devotional items. But then, as far as considering the whatever is given in the book, it's a small portion only. So towards the end, I will try to just wrap up along with the main points actually. Okay. So let's start. So first and foremost, the most important thing is that Sankirtan movement, right? The movement which none other than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually, he was the pioneer, or the person who actually started the Sankirtan movement. Yes. So Sankirtan, we'll see what is Sankirtan and why it is so important. So when a person loudly chants the glories of the Lord's activities, qualities, form, etc., his chanting is called Sankirtan. Sankirtan also refers to congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So technically speaking, once you chant the holy name of the Lord very loudly, then that itself is called Kirtan. Okay, if you are doing it yourself. But if a group of people come together and then they start chanting, clapping the hands, then that is known as Sankirtan. Okay, so and Sankirtan, mind you, is millions, billions, quadrillions, zillions times more powerful than Kirtan. Okay, and that is the reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu laid so much stress on doing Sankirtan. Actually, the very concept of the Bhakti Vriksha here in ISKCON is basically based on the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Right? It was his desire that people in different localities, maybe 5 or 7 in number, or maybe 10 in numbers, every day they should congregate together, maybe at each other's home or at a common place, along with kartals and mridangam, and then they should chant the names of the Lord. And because this is very, very purifying in this age of Kali Yuga, this is the only thing which can take you straight back home, back to the Godhead. So Sankirtan is again very important. Okay, so what's given here, a person who chants the holy name of Krishna once can counteract the results of actions of more sinful activities than he is able to perform. Right? So isn't that wonderful? Just one name of Krishna will purify you so much that in your entire lifetime you won't be able to perform any sinful activities at all. Right? That is the kind of potency of the holy name of Krishna. But then there is a catch, right? I mean, first thing is that our consciousness should be very, very pure when we are chanting. Only then this will be very effective. And we all know that in today's scenario, when we are chanting the holy name, our mind is running in every possible direction, right? We are thinking about our finances, we are thinking about our family, we are thinking about our work pressure, what not, right? Everything comes in our mind only when we are chanting, right? So this is not going to do, this is not going to help us. Like over a period of time with regular practice, we have to train our minds in such a way that, it doesn't run away. And with that calm and focused mind, with pure consciousness in the heart, if we just, chant one name of Krishna, that is, good enough to take us back home, back to Godhead. So a sinful man can perform many, many sinful activities, but he is unable to perform so many that they cannot be wiped out by single uttering of Krishna, right? So it's just a matter of practice, and that is what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, asanshayam mahabaho manodurnigraham chalam. That means, no doubt, O Arjuna, this mind is very, very restless, right? Manodurnigraham, it's very difficult to control the mind. But abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihate. That means with practice, abhyasen and vairagya, that means by detachment, it is possible. So we have to continuously practice. Even if we think that, okay, we are not able to chant nicely, we are not able to chant attentively, we should not give up, right? We should keep doing that continuously over and over again. Okay? So the importance of Sankirtan or Kirtan is given in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 3, shloka number 51, which, and one of my favorite slokas, by the way, right? Kaler dosh nidhe rajan asti heko mahan guna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param prajet. That means, Kaler dosh nidhe rajan, O king, Shukdev Goswami is addressing Parikshit Maharaj here. Oh, my dear king, Kaler dosh nidhe rajan. That means this Kalyuga is, although this Kalyuga is an ocean of faults, right? Asti heko mahan guna, but there is one very mahan gun, very mahan, very great quality in this Kalyuga. What is that great quality? What is that mahan gun? Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangha param vraje. That means simply by chanting the holy names of Krishna, right? We can simply go back home, back to Godhead. And in our case, it's the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? So just with full confidence and full faith, keep on chanting, and this holy name will take us through. Right, that confidence we should have. I may be very unqualified. I may be, full of, sinful reactions of millions and billions of lifetime. But this holy name and my Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada are fully qualified to take me through. Right, even though I'm a most fallen conditioned soul. So with that confidence, we should chant. Right. Then in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 9th chapter, verse number 18, I've just given the translation here that Prahlad Maharaj is praying to Lord Narasimhadev. And what is he saying? Oh my Lord Narasimhadev, by engaging in your transcendental loving service in association of the devotees who are liberated soul, or Hamsas, or Param Hamsas, right? I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of the three modes of material nature, and be able to chant the glories of your holy lordship, who are so dear to me. I shall chant your glories following exactly on the footsteps of Brahma and his disciplic succession. In this way, I shall be undoubtedly be able to cross the ocean of nescience. Right? So two things are very, very important here. Right? Stress has been laid on two things. One is that the chanting of the holy name is so important that one is able to cross over the ocean of nescience. Right? And second thing is the Guru Shishya Parampara. Right? Clearly, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, following exactly on the footsteps of Lord Brahma and his disciplic succession. Right? So this is how this Guru Shishya Parampara is so important. See, all these important books are available everywhere, right? You can buy it on Amazon, you can buy it from your nearest ISKCON center and everything, right? But until and unless you read it under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master or a Siksha Guru or people who are coming in a bona fide disciplic succession, you will not be able to taste the nectar of these literatures or these scriptures. It will be just like licking the honey bottle from outside. I mean, you don't know what lies inside. Actual honey, the actual nectar is inside that bottle, right? But you will be simply able to scratch the surface, right? So this studying of the Shastras, it requires some guidance because we have to read between the lines, okay? So this is most important, Sankirtan, and second is following the footsteps of our previous acharyas. Then comes the japa. So in japa, like what can I say? I mean, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself, confirms that Mahirshinam Bhriguraham Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam Yajnanam Japyagyosmi Sthavaranam Himalayah. Of all the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, which is the japa. That's what we do, each and every day, day in and day out, preferably in Brahma Muhurta, right? And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas, right? So this, I mean, do I need to say anything else? When Krishna himself is saying that he himself is the japa, that is the reason why we keep on repeating that there is no difference between Krishna and his holy names, right? There is no difference at all. So that is the reason why also, we emphasize so much on chanting the holy names with, as less distraction as possible. Why? Because once a holy name is there on your lips, then that means you are directly interacting with Krishna. Krishna is there with you at that point of time, right? So there is no question. Now, if some say, just imagine the Supreme Personality of Godhead is sitting right in front of you, and then you are not talking to him or not paying full attention, you are just looking at your mobile, or you are just peeping out of the window that, okay, what construction work is going on there, okay, that car is very good, these kind of things you are doing. Just imagine how, bad and how rude it's going to be, right? So that is the reason why we should be very, very attentive while chanting. At least try to not be physically distracted while chanting. Okay, keep your mobile phones aside. Just put on the curtains on your windows, or close your room so that there is no distraction. Okay, physical distraction is not there. Yes, mind is something which Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says that he himself is the mind. Of all the senses, he is the mind. So definitely, like, we cannot exercise our control until and unless it's Krishna's desire that we should be able to control our mind. We won't be able to control it. But at least we should try to be not distracted by any physical activities around us. Okay, so this is japa is very, very important. Next comes submission towards the Lord, right? So the essence of Bhagavad Gita is, obviously we all know that it's 18th chapter, 56th verse. Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma shucha. So Krishna is saying mam ekam sharanam vraja. Okay, surrender exclusively unto me, mam ekam. He is not saying surrender to some other demigods, right? Mam ekam, come to me, sharanam vraja, right? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma shucha. Ma shucha, do not worry. Do not have any doubt whether I can do it or not. Do not have any doubt whether I will do it or not. I will do it. Right? This is what he's saying. And this is the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita. If someone asks you, lot of places, especially on the calendars and, at different places, you will see that a quote of Bhagavad Gita is given, karm karo, phal ki chinta mat karo. Right? People think that, okay, this is what Bhagavad Gita is all about. Right? Or Karmande Vadhikaraste, that shloka. We all know that shloka because it was the starting shloka in the serial Mahabharat, which was directed by B.R. Chopra, right? So, but no, that is not the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, right? These two things are basically described in the chapter Karma Yoga, which is the third chapter only, which is the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita only. But the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita lies in the middle 6 chapters, okay, and then the 18th chapter towards the end, right? So this is the essence, and we should all, just try to think, meditate on this, and just submit ourselves humbly that, okay, till now, whatever has happened, Krishna, it has happened, but from now on, I am yours and you are mine. With that prayer in mind, just surrender unto him and just see he will take charge of your life, and then, it will be the most beautiful thing that can happen to you, right? So submission towards the Lord. Again, we'll continue that. So there are 3 ways how can we submit to the Lord. One is samprarthanatmika, and second is Daniya Bodhika, and then Lalsamai. So samprarthanatmika is very feelingly offering prayers, right? The way Kunti Maharani did in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. You would see this beautiful prayers she has recited, right? And, she has gone on to say that in the Shastras, people, it has been mentioned that when it comes to spirituality, women are not considered very intelligent. So I am in this woman's body. So how can I offer any prayers to you, right? And by saying this, she has offered such beautiful prayers that not even the learned scholars can match up to that, right? So this was Kunti Maharani, and this was, how she surrendered to Krishna, right? She says that I desire that in every lifetime you just give me only dukha, right? She was not expecting any happiness. She was actually asking Krishna to give her all the miseries in the world. Why? Because she says that in the misery, people remember the Lord more. So I just never want to forget you. Just see such beautiful thoughts. I mean, no one can comprehend, the class of a devotee, right? So this is what Samprarthnatmika surrender is all about. Then it's Daniya Bodhika, humbly submitting oneself, just like Bali Maharaj did, right? When Vaman Dev, he measured the entire, all the 14 planetary systems in just 2 steps. And then when he asked Bali Maharaj that, okay, where should I keep the 3rd step? I don't have anywhere else to do, right? Then he just humbly surrendered himself that, okay, I am there, you just put it on my head, right? I don't want anything, you just, I want to serve you, right? So that is the kind of surrender, Daniya Bodhika. And third is lalsamai, that means desiring some perfectional stage in devotion. So, when it comes to desires, it has already been said so many times that, desires are the root cause of all the miseries, right? But then this statement is true only as far as when we are dealing in the material world. When we are dealing with the transcendental activities, when we are dealing with the activities pertaining to Krishna, right? Then it's okay to have some desires, like desires to be freed from this material bondage, basically, Janm, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, the 4 miseries of life. And to an extent, it's okay. But Lord Chaitanya had an altogether different level of, surrender. He said that as pure devotees, they don't even, ask for liberation, right? And we have seen that extensively in the previous few sessions, that even if we are sent to hell, it's okay. We will just chant with Yamraj over there, right? So as pure devotees, we should not even ask for liberation, but still, if that desire for getting liberated from this material bondage is there, it's okay. It's not considered bad, right? So that is called as lalsamai. And this lalsamai is basically, this kind of submission, or this kind of desire to attain some perfectional stage comes at a very high level of once the person reaches very high level of devotional service, okay. And that is known as Swarupa Siddhi. Now this Swarup Siddhi, I would just like to touch upon this. This is a very important aspect and very interesting aspect as well, that it is said that every single living entity has a very unique relationship with Krishna, okay. When I say unique relationship, means that your position in Vaikuntha or your position in the Golok Vrindavan is having just one-to-one correspondence. That means now that you are here in this material world, that position is still vacant. And Krishna is waiting that when this fellow will come back and take its position back, right? So that means that is called the unique relationship with Krishna. So Swarup Siddhi means that every one of us has a particular Swarupa in the spiritual life. Some of us, for example, Shukdev Goswami had a Swarup of a parrot in the Golok Vrindavan. Similarly, Madhavendra Puri had a Swarup of a desire tree, okay, in the Golok Vrindavan. So this is known as Swarupa Siddhi. And when you reach at a very advanced level of devotion, then, a person, even though he or she is in this material world, they are able to understand what is their Swarupa in the Golok Vrindavan. And, once that realization comes, that is known as Swarupa Siddhi. Obviously, I'm talking about a very, very advanced level of devotion, like we cannot even conceive what a Swarup Siddhi is. Today, if you go to some holy dhams, especially in Vrindavan, you will meet a lot of bogus sadhus who will tell that, okay, I'll tell you your Swarupa. You come here, you pay me this much amount, and I'll just tell you who you are in Golok Vrindavan. This is all fraud. Okay, don't fall for all such nonsense, because this Swarup Siddhi comes at a very, very later stage. And only once you have the Swarup Siddhi, then you can develop some Lalsamai Bhakti. That Lalsamai surrender, that you want some perfectional stage. You want to serve Krishna in the most perfect way, in accordance with your Swarupa, right? That is known as the Lalsamai. So we'll see the references. In the Padma Puran, it is said, "My Lord, I know that young girls have natural affection for young boys and that young boys have natural affection for young girls. I am praying at your lotus feet that my mind may become attracted to you in the same spontaneous way." So yes, you have seen that it's needless to say, it's all around, these days that, girls are attracted towards boys, boys are attracted towards girls. Not only that, like I can see my kid, like, I can see that even in the fourth grade, they have started talking about crush and boyfriends and girlfriends and, all these things are going on. So how did these things come into them, right? No one has taught them, right? It is just spontaneous, that attraction is spontaneous, right? So just imagine that instead of being attracted towards opposite gender or something material in this material world, how nice it would be if the same spontaneous attraction we start developing for Krishna, right? Immediately we will be relieved of this material existence without a doubt, right? But the thing is that instead of getting attracted towards Krishna, we are attracted towards so many abominable things and activities. Yes, that is the unfortunate situation of especially of the people in Kali Yuga, right? So here the prayer, one of the devotees praying that just like a young boy and young girl are attracted towards each other, that attraction is spontaneous. Similarly, I just pray that I may develop the similar spontaneous reaction, spontaneous attraction towards you, O Krishna. Right? Then Padma Puran. My dear Lord, there is no sinful entity, living entity, who is more sinner than myself, nor there is a greater offender than myself. I am so greatly sinful and offensive that when I come to confess my sinful activities before you, I am ashamed. So this is the mood of the devotee. Like even if a devotee is in a Paramhansa level, is on the Paramhansa level, they always consider themselves as the most menial servant of Krishna and the most sinful servant of Krishna. Right? So as soon as this thing is done, like as soon as you start being so humble, right? Immediately your sinful reactions are just burnt away, and or you are excused of all your sinful reactions for a sincere devotee, right? Because one thing which Krishna likes very much is the humility, right? The biggest quality of Srimati Radharani is that she is the most humble devotee, right? And that her humility knows no bounds. Actually, she is just devoted to Krishna. Her only point of focus is that Krishna should be happy, right? And this humility is such great that even Krishna is won over by her, right? So to an extent that if Srimati Radharani sees that some sincere devotee, then what does she do? She actually recommends that devotee to Krishna. That, oh Krishna, look, there is a devotee. He or she is a more sincere devotee than me, so please accept him. That is the mood of Srimati Radharani, right? So humility is something which Krishna is a big fan of. So if we become humble and polite, if we just learn to tolerate the offenses of people around us, then the gates of Vaikuntha or gates of Golok Vrindavan will be automatically open for us, right? So this is all about submission of the Lord. We'll continue, and in the Shikshashtakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yugayitam niveshena chakshusha pravishayitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling the vacant in the world in your absence. Right? So once we start feeling that separation, this mood is very similar to the mood of the gopis of Vrindavan. When Krishna went to Mathura, this exactly was the mood, this exactly was the situation of the gopis. Every moment seemed to be several yugas, in the separation of Krishna, it seemed to be like several yugas, right? And with that separation, that tears from the eyes were continuously flowing. So we should learn how to cry for the Lord. And that is the price that we have to pay, in order to enter Golok Vrindavan, right? Or any of the Vaikuntha planet. So, yes, this is all about submission towards the Lord. In the most humble mood, in the most submissive mood, we should just offer ourselves to Krishna. That, okay, I am like a puppet in your hand. This is the prayer which Srila Prabhupada recited, when he first landed in United States. I am a puppet in your hand, O Krishna. Now make me dance as you wish, right? So that should be our mood. Then reciting notable prayers. Now, Bhagavad Gita, especially chapter 11, entire Gautamiya Tantra, and the Srimad Bhagavatam also, we have so many beautiful prayers, right? Beautiful prayers means like whenever, like first is in the 11th chapter, Arjuna is actually seeing the, the enormous Virat Roop of Lord Krishna, and then after seeing that, all his doubts are actually gone, like are driven away from his mind, and then he is offering some prayers to Krishna. Right? He actually understands who exactly is Krishna. Like although Krishna was acting like his friend and like his charioteer in the Kurukshetra war, but then he is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With that realization, Arjuna starts offering some beautiful prayers in the chapter 11th, right? And similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam, all the uh, the uh, all the personalities who had the darshan of Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu in Srimad Bhagavatam, when Lord Krishna or when Lord Vishnu appears in front of them, they simply lie down dandvats, offer their dandvats to him, and then they start offering some beautiful prayers. Prayers of Kunti Maharani, prayers of Gajendra, prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, prayers of Dhruv Maharaj, prayers of Prithu Maharaj, prayers of Sri Karda Muni. There are so many of them. Okay, I mean, it goes on and on and on and on, right? So if any devotee actually recites those prayers, reads those prayers, then that is also very, very auspicious, very, very beneficial for the progress of that devotee, right? So devotees whose tongues are decorated always with the prayers of Lord Krishna are always given respect, even by the great saintly persons and sages, and such devotee are actually worshipable by demigods, right? We are actually worshipping our demigods for, just so that they can fulfill our menial desires, right? Isn't it very stupid thing to do, right? Rather than you go and then you start reciting these prayers which are there, especially Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we almost all of us have at our homes, right? You just start reciting those prayers, and by doing that, you will become worshipable by the demigods. Just that is the potency of the holy names and these prayers. Right? Any person who comes before the deity of Krishna and begins to chant the different prayers is immediately relieved from the reactions of the sinful activities and becomes eligible without a doubt to enter into the Vaikuntha Loka. Right? So gates of Vaikuntha and gates of Vrindavan are always open for such a person. And most important thing, we are too much attracted towards powerful mantras, but simply by chanting the holy name or the prayers of the Lord is far more effective in Kali Yuga. Yes. So if you just happen to open the YouTube, right, and then especially like YouTube actually recommends you different videos based on your watch history, actually, right? So if you are into spirituality, obviously you will see some videos popping up that okay, इस मंत्र का जाप हर सुबह करें, बहुत शक्तिशाली मंत्र, और these kind of things, and you chant this mantra and you will become a crorepati overnight or maybe in 1 week's time. All these things, so these nonsensical videos are there basically, right? So but we have to understand that any mantra is not, chanting any mantra is not a joke, right? There's a reason why Yug Dharma of Kali Yuga is said that it's just the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Why? Because none of us are qualified to chant any of these mantras mentioned in the Shastras until and unless it's Krishna's desire himself that okay, this person should chant this mantra, right? Otherwise we will not be able to do that, because when chanting mantra, it's very important to note this point that there are 4 things that comes into consideration when we chant the mantra. First is the place, second is the time, third is the person who is chanting the mantra, and fourth, the circumstances in which he's chanting the mantra, right? We can have a detailed discussion about it, but then, so in Kali Yuga, it's not possible, right? Neither the place is good, neither the time is right, neither the circumstances are right, nor the person who is chanting the mantra is purified. And then what can we say? Like, what can we do? So their only reason is Hare Naam, Hare Naam, Hare Naam eva kevalam, kalau nastev, nastev, nastev gatiranyatha. Right? That only chanting of the holy names, only chanting of the holy names, chanting of the holy names of Krishna, Hare Naam, right? That can only relieve us from the evil effects of Kali Yuga. Apart from this, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way, right? So don't be attracted to the mantras, powerful mantras, right? Gayatri, Mahamrityunjay, there are so many of them. Just chant Hare Krishna. There is no reason why we should think that Hare Krishna Mahamantra is less potent or less effective in any way. Yes, especially if you are an initiated devotee and it has been handed over to you by your spiritual master, then it can work wonders for you. Okay, honoring prasadam. We all know, right? ISKCON is actually very famous for its prasadam, its khichdi, especially, right? and gulab jamuns. So yes, we all like, and this is what Prabhupada used to say, right? That at ISKCON we simply sing, we simply dance, and have tasty prasadam, and we go back home, back to Godhead. So where is the difficulty, right? So just prepare as many palatable dishes as you can at home, offer them to Krishna, then honor that as prasadam, right? And it will just purify you like anything. So I'll not waste much time on this because we all know, we all have been practicing this. Then drinking Charnamrita. Now, Charnamrita is something which is a very, very important thing, actually, right? And generally, you will find that in temples, because in temples, every day, Abhisheka is done of the deities. If you have been visiting ISKCON temples regularly, then you might have observed that there are two deities actually. One is the bigger one, whose darshan we take, and then just in front of that bigger deity, there are small deities made of brass or some metals. Small like Gaur Nitai or Krishna Balram, Radha Krishna, like that. And these deities are given Abhisheka every day, right? And when you pour water on that, then that water is collected in some other a vessel, and using that water, then this water is mixed with milk, curd, honey, uh, jaggery, and some makhana and all these things, and then it's converted into Charnamrita. So this Charnamrit is so potent, so powerful, that it can just burn away all the sinful reactions if it is taken in the right mood with pure consciousness. Okay, so as described in the Padma Puran, even a person who has never been able to give any charity, who has never been able to perform a great sacrifice, who has never been able to study the Vedas, who has never been able to worship the Lord, or in other words, who has never done any pious activity, right? He's the most sinful person, but just with the right mood, if he goes to a temple, okay, and he will become eligible to enter the kingdom of God, right? If he simply drinks Charanamrita that is kept in the temple. With the right mood, they should enter the temple and drink the Charanamrita in the right mood, and then just they are relieved of this material existence. In the temple, it is the custom that Charanamrita to be kept in a big pot. Yes. So you can find, I think, in almost all these temples you can find. So next time when you visit, please don't forget to have Charnamrita. It has a very, very purifying effect. Yes. Then smelling the incense of the deity, incense and flowers offered to the deity, right? So there are a lot of different abhishekas that are done, as I said earlier. So Jal Abhishek is one, and then another is Pushpa Abhishek, right? So flowers are there, garlands are offered, flowers are offered. So whenever you get an opportunity, try to smell those flowers. You must have, all of you must have seen, like if you are attending any Mangal Aarti or any other Aarti at ISKCON, evening Aarti, whatever is convenient for you. A person actually takes a handful of flowers, and then they just move around, and ask the people who are present in the temple hall, to smell those flowers, right? Why? Because when the devotees smell the flowers, the good flavor of the incense which is offered to the deity, they thus become cured of all the poisonous effects of material contamination. As such, as much as one becomes cured of a snake bite by smelling prescribed medicinal herbs. So in Ayurveda, there are certain medicinal herbs which are there, which when mixed in the right proportion, and when a person who is bitten by a snake, smells those herbs, they are cured of that snake bite. The poison of the snake has no effect whatsoever on them, right? So this is a very advanced science, basically, but these days it's actually lost. Very few people know it in a right way, but yes, this can be done in Ayurveda. Any devotee coming into the temple should always offer something to the deity. We should never go empty-handed, right? Whenever we are, we are visiting our friends and family, especially in India, it's a custom that we carry something, right? So when you are visiting the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why not? Like you should never go empty-handed, right? Just even if it's a fruit or some flowers, take something, with you, and then offer it there, right? So fruit, flowers, incense, etc. If one cannot offer anything in cash, then something else must be offered. So never go empty-handed. If the smell of the garland that was offered to the deity in the temple enters into a person's nostrils, immediately his bondage to sinful activities becomes clear. And even if one has no sinful activities, Still, by smelling such remnants of the flowers, one can advance from Mayavadi or impersonalist thought to a devotee, to that of a devotee. Yes. So these are some of the references. What are them? And see, the most important thing I'd just like to, this is the most important verse I would like to quote actually. And this is from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu itself. So it says, Sarvapadhi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesu sevanam bhakti ruchyate. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging in all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of the senses, Rishikesh, right? And when the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One, it is freed from all the material designations, and one's senses are purified simply by employing it in the service of Krishna, right? So anyone can guess what is this picture depicting over here? Any one of you?
It is the Ekadashi story where the king honors the prasadam before the rishi and then he curses the king.
Yes, Amrish Maharaj. Very right, Mataji. Nice. So yes, this is Amrish Maharaj, and one special quality of Amrish Maharaj was that he was able to engage all his five senses in the service of Krishna. With eyes, he used to see the deities or beautiful pictures of Krishna. With his hands, he used to broom the temples, right? He used to go and used to clean the temple hall, right? With his legs, he engaged his legs in just going to the temples. With his nose, he used to smell the offers or the flowers or the garlands that had been offered to Krishna. From his mouth or tongue, he used to taste only Krishna Prasad. From his tongue, he used to only speak about Krishna, right? So all his five senses were with his hands used to touch the deity, right, and take the blessings. So this is the kind of devotee, and with such a devotee, Krishna is always there, right? Even when such as advanced sage like Durvasa Muni actually cursed him, uh, Krishna actually sent his associate Sudarshan to protect him, right? And you can see Sudarshan is just standing over here, and Durvasa Muni is just offering his dandavats to Ambrish Maharaj. Because when Durvasa Muni actually was so advanced, says that he immediately went to all the planetary systems. Within a few hours of time, he visited Swargloka and all the other higher planetary systems. Even Vaikuntha, he went to Lord Vishnu and asked for protection, that please protect me from your Sudarshan. But Lord Vishnu replied that, okay, I can't do anything. You have offended my devotee, so only if my devotee forgives you, then and only then this Sudarshan will stop. Otherwise, it's not going to stop until it kills you. Right? So just see how fond Krishna is, for all his devotees. If a devotee is offended, Krishna is offended. He's actually very, very unhappy, So we should always try to see that we do not commit any aparadh or any, Vaishnav aparadh in particular, right? So this is how we can engage our senses in the service of Krishna. And another example are the four Kumaras, right? When they went to Vaikuntha, the smell which was coming out of the tulsi leaves which are offered to Krishna, the Lord Vishnu, to the feet of Lord Vishnu. So with that smell, they were so mesmerized that immediately they were dhyan yogis, and then they, turned into pure devotees of the Lord. So this picture also depicts the same thing. These are the four Kumaras. And please don't go by their appearance. They look like very cute small children, but then they are very, very learned saints. Okay, so we should always offer our humble obeisances to them. And touching the deity. Now, touching the deity or performing the pujari service at ISKCON is not a joke. Okay, so at ISKCON, actually, there are two services which are very, very serious business. Okay, one is the pujari seva, and second is the kitchen seva, right? The cooking seva. So when it comes to cooking, we must all understand that it is only by the mercy of Srimati Radharani that someone gets an opportunity to cook, in the to cook for Krishna or to cook for the devotees actually. Okay. Because in Golok Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani is the one who presides over all the cooking activities. That what Krishna should eat and what should be distributed to all the devotees. So by her causeless mercy only, right, one can be given an opportunity to cook and to serve food, prasadam to all the devotees. So it's a very, very serious business for both these sevas, Pujari Seva and the cooking Seva. ISKCON has very, very high standards. Okay, I mean, one should be initiated at least, and should be at least chanting 16 rounds. Should be very, very, very careful about the hygiene, both external and internal, right? I mean, so these things are emphasized a lot, and that's what we are going to see. That only a person who is initiated as a Vaishnava and is executing devotional service in Krishna consciousness has the right to touch the body of the deity. Okay, not anyone and everyone can go and just touch the deity like that. No, that's not going to happen. And in general, cleanliness must be maintained when entering the temple, right? If possible, take a bath before you are visiting a center, or even if you have an altar at home, whenever you are touching the altar, right? So in the morning and in the evening when you are doing the Mangal Aartis, then please have a bath. Okay. In some places in India are actually very cold, but see, like these days the apartments are pretty closed, and we have some heating systems also, so that advantage is there. So there should not be any hesitation in taking a bath. But yes, if you have any health concerns, then at least you should be changing your clothes and washing yourself very nicely before approaching the altar, okay, at home also. So this is the kind of standard which is maintained. So cleanliness should be both external as well as internal. And it's not that I'm taking a bath 3 times a day, but in my mind I'm thinking about all the nonsense activities, then it's of no use again, right? So this is the point. This is the what to say, the devotional service when it comes to touching the deity. Very high standards are followed at ISKCON. Yeah. Then seeing the deity, I think this till touching the deity was covered yesterday. Today I was supposed to cover from this point here, right? Seeing the deity. So as I had explained earlier also, that seeing the deity is also not a very mechanical thing. Like it's not that you go to a temple and then you simply close your eyes in front of the deity. Then what is the point of visiting the temple? Right? Or some people, like, they are very what to say, influenced by the Bollywood movies, and they instead of looking at the deity, they are looking at some beautiful girl standing beside them, or the girl is looking at some good looking hunks standing beside her. So these things are happening. So please don't be influenced by such scenes or such such videos. Basically, once you are in temple, you should go there in full seriousness, okay, with a very pure consciousness that you are there. With everything else can take a back seat at that time. Okay, all the problems in life, all the work that you have in hand, just forget about that. And for those moments, say maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, whatever time you are there in temple, right? That is only and exclusively for Krishna. And this goes also when you are chanting, right? When you are chanting, just forget about everything. This is my exclusive time with Krishna, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, with that consciousness, you should enter the temple in a clean way. If possible, take a bath, and then you enter the temple. And then once you start observing the deity, right, start from the feet, right, of the deity. Okay, and then first just observe very closely what is the anklet which Krishna is wearing, what are the kind of rings that he is wearing on his toes, right? What are the flowers that have been offered to his feet? And then you slowly come, start going upwards. Have a look at the dhoti which he is wearing, then to the waist, to his waistline, the kind of belt he is wearing around his waist, right? And then the upper body, slowly, just from bottom to top, you just go. And then finally, when you come to the face, have a nice look at his face, right? And especially, just make an eye contact, right, with the deity. I think it's very, very important. It is said that if one sees into the eyes of the deity, then that glance of the deity actually takes away all your sinful reactions. Okay, so this is the way of seeing the deity. I mean, it should not be a mechanical thing that some people just running fast, and then this is not what kind of a darshan you are taking, right? If you have come to a temple, spend some time there, right? I mean, we have time for so many nonsense people, but why is it that we are always in a hurry when it comes to Krishna or taking darshan of any deity in a temple, right? So just take out some time, maybe at least once a week, everyone should visit the temple. In Vrindavan, it's still a custom that, people visit temple every day, at least once, if possible twice, in the morning and in the evening. And if you happen to visit the Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan, I mean, in the morning and in the evening, what to say? I mean, it's a beautiful, like you cannot explain that environment which is there. It's so vibrant and so positivity is all around, right? And I mean, you have to be there to feel it, actually, that vibrations. So this is how we should all try to mold our lives. Try to find some time, okay, to visit the temple. If not every day, then at least a week, right? If possible, set up an altar at a home, so that will give you a very nice engagement. So you will not be wasting your time in any, mundane material activities. Rather, all your focus will be on somehow performing the devotional services, right? So that is one thing. And seeing the deity, then observing the celebrations of the Lord. Okay, so here I would just read. So in the Varaha Puran, it is said, "My dear Vasundhara, any person who goes to Vrindavan and sees the deity, Govind Dev, is free from the courthouse of Yamaraj and is allowed to enter into the highest planetary system, which in which reside the demigods." So even if a person is not promoted to Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan, at least if you have visited Vrindavan, any of the temples in Vrindavan, one thing is guaranteed, that next time you will not be going to hell, you will be simply promoted to some higher planetary systems. And if by grace of Krishna and by grace of Krishna's devotee, you happen to practice Krishna consciousness in those higher planetary systems, you will not have to come back here on this Earth planetary system again. From there only, you will straight away go back home, back to Godhead, right? So, but as devotees of ISKCON and as devotees, as the followers of our glorious parampara, Guru parampara, as the followers of Srila Prabhupada, we will just follow what Prabhupada has said, that we don't even want to be in that position, right? You just finish your business in this very lifetime and go back home, back to Godhead, right? But just, for the sake of knowledge, I'm telling that people who visit Vrindavan, any of the temples in Vrindavan, just by taking a darshan there of the deities, they are eligible to enter into the higher planetary systems, at least, to say the least, right? And if the consciousness is pure, if we are practicing our devotional service very nicely, if we are chanting our rounds very nicely, then there is no question of coming back again. Yeah. Then observing the celebrations. So there are a lot of celebrations. Some of the main ones I have listed down here: Janmashtami, Ram Navami, God Purnima, appearance day of prominent Vaishnavas, Jhulan Yatra, Dhol Yatra. Dhol Yatra is Holi, basically. So all the pastimes which Krishna performed during the festival of Holi, so it is celebrated as Dhol Yatra. So if you look at the Vaishnava calendar that we follow, I mean, our entire year is full of celebrations. Okay, there is no scarcity of celebrations, once it comes to Krishna consciousness. And that is why we sing, we dance, we eat, and then we go back home, back to Godhead. Right? So, Su Sukham Kartum Abhyayam. That's what I said in my last class, right? So, Bhakti is something which is joyfully performed, right? So, we should not fail to observe any of these, important events or important festivals which are there. It's actually a sin, if you ignore, say, for example, on Janmashtami, a lot of people are just sitting at their home. Arey Janmashtami yaar, chutti hai, apni wife se kare ja pakode tal de yaar, aisa. So that kind of attitude is actually sinful. It incurs sinful reaction, right? Janmashtami is a very, very special day. Like Krishna appeared in his original form, original Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? He appeared on that day. So it should be like the happiest moment of our lives, right? So we should be celebrating it with full pomp and show and zeal and enthusiasm, right? So please do that. I mean, celebrate all the festivals, or at least the most important ones which have been listed over here. And especially the appearance day of prominent Vaishnavas are also very, very important. And just see what is written here. If someone sees the face of the Lord while Aarti is going on, he can be delivered of all sinful reactions coming from many, many thousands and millions of years of the past. He is even excused from the killing of a Brahmana. That means he is excused from Brahmahatya, the paap of Brahmahatya, or similar prohibited activities, just by observing Aarti. So try to be in the temple at least once a week or twice a week, whatever is convenient for you. If not, then please establish an altar at home and perform that arti yourself, right? Because you just see it can just relieve you even of the sinful reactions of a brahmatya. So what to speak about small little sinful activities that we are doing day in and day out, right? So with that, I would like to pause here. I think this is all I had to summarize. I think all of you, I hope all of you enjoyed. I have, as usual, I have tried to put in some beautiful pictures to make the session a little interesting. Now, I would like to, I would just like to open the floor for any discussion. I have a couple of hands raised. Virendra Prabhu, as usual. Yes, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, Haribol Prabhu, for the wonderful class. I just
Prabhu.
wanted to ask you one question. What is the difference between Raga Nuga means the we can say Vaidhi Bhakti. Now we are all performing Sadhana Bhakti and
Hmm.
Raga Nuga Bhakti, because what I read in Prabhupada books is that unless and until we don't go to the stage of Raga Nuga Bhakti, we will not be able to go back to God. It means Raga Nuga Bhakti is the stage wherein we realize like what is our like constitutional position to eternally serve
Contributors.
Krishna.
That's, yeah, that Raganuga
So
Bhakti.
how to go to that stage, like because now we
So
are in sadhana bhakti.
yeah, it only comes with practice, Prabhu, and by the mercy of Krishna. Until unless Krishna desires that, I mean, it's difficult. So it's a very, very advanced stage Raganuga Bhakti, right? That's what the Sarup Siddhi which I was talking about, right? So basically, right now in sadhana bhakti, what we do is that we try to control our minds. Okay, our mind is so disturbed. That is why we are called sadhakas. We are trying to control our minds. We are trying to focus our mind. And the japa that we do every day, or the kirtan that we do every day, or if we have an altar at home, we perform the mangal arti, we clean the paraphernalia, arti paraphernalia. We try to put the flower garland around the deities, offer our flowers. So basically, these are all engagement of our mind, so that our minds is actually drawn away from all the material activities, and it is completely focused in the service of Krishna. When we keep doing this over a period of time, then what happens that our mind gets trained, okay, and it is not distracted by any of the material activities. Rather, we actually lose all the interest in all the material things and material activities around us, and that is the stage when the Raganuga Bhakti starts. Okay, and once we hit that platform, then all these things become immaterial, right? Even the deity worship and all those things, they also become immaterial, because the person is Swarup Siddh. He realizes his or her constitutional position, that what is my position in the Golok Vrindavan, how am I serving Krishna in the Golok Vrindavan, right? And once you are aware of that, then it's just a matter of time that you just finish your number of years which are you have to spend in this material body, and then you instantly you go back home, back to Godhead, right? So it
No,
comes with practice, Prabhu, and
no
then
means
also mercy of
like my
Krishna.
question is how that awareness comes within us, like by
The
practice of
holy name
sadhana
itself,
bhakti.
the chanting, the holy name itself will reveal everything to you, Prabhu. Okay, that is the reason why we lay so much stress on chanting. Okay, uh, it is said that the knowledge which is there in these two words, Ra and Ma, Ram, okay, that is like undefined. You cannot define that. So just you keep on chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the holy name itself will reveal everything to you. Okay. So just keep doing that. At times, we may feel, I understand, that we are so fallen that that we are not chanting it in a very nice way. Even I struggle a lot to chant, right? And then I'm very, very distracted also, at chanting, when it comes to chanting. So at times I feel very low that, okay, today my sadhana was not very good. I did not chant very well. But then just, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Always remember this particular shloka of Krishna where Krishna is saying, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihate. He himself is giving us the solution, that practice and detachment. These are the only two things. So practice is there in our hands. Detachment is something which, also depends upon Krishna's desire, that when will it come. But it will come
Okay,
eventually.
means like my question is like sadhana bhakti is like we do sadhana the entire life, and
Mhm.
Krishna says in each chapter that antakale cha mameva
Mhm.
smaranakti. So that antakal, in that antakal we get to that like position of, we can say, raganuga bhakti, means that
Yes.
point we can know what is our like real like swarupa siddhi. Is it
Mhm.
so? Because we don't know like, like what we are in the spiritual. It is Krishna's mercy, it is Krishna's grace that we
Yes, it's
become.
Krishna's desire basically. But yeah, then that is what we say, that this ISKCON is not art of living; it is the art of dying. We teach here art of dying, And second thing is that if you remember Krishna when you are alive, then Krishna will take care of you when you are about to quit your body, right? So these are the two things we should. So Krishna will take care. So because Krishna says that he who is constantly chanting my holy name, in the Bhagavad Gita only he has said, "Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamu piyantite." I give them the intelligence through which they can come back to me, right? So we should not have any doubt, on this process which Srila Prabhupada has given us. Just keep to it, keep at it, and then slowly and surely we will definitely perfect our lives. So
yes, means like Krishna also said, like Shraddhaya paropetaste tem yuktama mata. We should have Shraddha in the like 12th
right.
chapter, second verse.
Exactly, correct.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Raj Lakshmi Mataji, you can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the
Hare-
other day you were explaining about marking of the nama, I mean,
Tilaka.
the
Yeah.
tilak. So,
Yeah.
do women also have to mark it on all the 12 prescribed places, or is it the rule only for men, Prabhuji?
I will. I'm not very sure of this, Mataji. Midhavani Mataji, do you have any idea about this? Because I'm also not very sure about it. As far as I know, I think we should decorate ourselves with tilak.
Yes, even women have to decorate all the all the 12 pages. Of course, we don't have a shika, but we can just put it on the the last one on the on that the uchi we
That
call
side,
it on the
yeah.
head like that.
Yeah, that side
So
of the head.
and we also have to chant the mantras: Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha, Vishnave Namaha. So you can I think it's there in the ISKCON Desire Tree if you would want to know. Otherwise, it is there in the book written by Bhakti Vikas Swami, Beginner's Guide to Krishna Consciousness.
Krishna consciousness.
That book
Yeah.
is very good book. It tells us how to do Mangalarti, Guru Arti. And yesterday, this Virendra Prabhu was asking, about Tulsi Arati, So everything is given in that book, how to apply tilak, how to hold the chanting beads, how we have to keep our forefinger out of the chanting bag. Everything is given there. So yeah, we do have to decorate, our the 12 places because the process is our body is becoming a temple. The Lord is there in our heart,
Yes.
and we are engaging the body in Krishna's service. So before we do that, as soon as we take bath, we apply tilak in all the 12 places of our body, and then we start engaging in devotional service. That's what it is. I hope that
What's the
clarifies,
name of the
Mataji.
book, Mataji? What's the name of
Yes.
that book?
Beginner's Guide to Krishna Consciousness by Bhakti Vikas
Thank
Swami
you,
Maharaj.
Mataji. Yeah,
You
yeah.
can find it in any ISKCON center, Mataji. I think this is the first book. It's a small book also. It's not going to take much time.
Yeah, it's a
once you
very
start
small
reading.
book.
Yeah, very small book, but very, very good book. Very important. I think every single one of us, whether you are a senior devotee or a beginner, all of us should have it at our homes, and we should read it regularly. Yeah.
Prabhuji, one other question. Sorry.
Yeah.
While we are offering boga to the Lord, Prabhuji, we offer it with a tulsi leaf, right? So, for
Mhm.
example, if you have many dishes in the plate, so do you have to offer tulsi leaf on each of the dish that you have made, some sabji or chapati or rice and all, or is it like one tulsi leaf enough for the entire plate, Prabhuji?
See, ideally, one tulsi leaf is enough for the entire plate. But if you have several tulsi leaves at your disposal, then you can very well put into each and every item also. It's up to you, Mataji. Depending upon the number of tulsi leaves available. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Sindhu Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Pranam Shraviji. Very nectarian class. As usual, started from the Sankirtan movement, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how purifying everything, so nice. And how Arjuna, Krishna says to Arjuna to practice that abhyas, detachment.
Right.
All that was very nice. Yeah, excellent, Prabhuji. And my doubt was like you told girls and boys getting attracted towards each other. Not only girls and boys, I feel we are all.
We are all,
even
yeah.
as the, the more, in fact, I feel the more after coming into Krishna consciousness, the more we interact, that is more attraction. But of course, and you also told that you can pray to, Krishna that please be, I attracted only to you, because that is an unfortunate situation these days, right?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
we have to pray, to Lord that how we be attracted to you. But even after that, it keeps coming. When you are chanting, of course, we are not in that mindset. But once you are off, or once you start, sitting idle or something, again it all comes up. And I also heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised that not even to associate with Prabhujis or, maximum. I think, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
So
so
what
for
is
that,
your
Mataji, yeah, I would just like to comment on that. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually took the role of a sannyasi. Okay, so for sannyasis and brahmacharis, it's strictly forbidden to an extent that like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going around as a sannyasi, women were not even allowed to come anywhere near him. They only used to take darshan of him from a distance, and then they used to go. So this is how strict he was. He used to say that if you at all cannot control these desires, then you should take up the grihast ashram, get married, and then lead maybe kind of a restricted grihastha life there rather than. So for grihastha, I think it's okay. Like you can definitely interact, but then again, like you have to maintain a certain distance, and you have to respect what the rules and regulations are. But this kind of strict instruction is specifically for sannyasis, basically. Right.
okay, Prabhuji. So we can interact, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it should be only with the minimal, like regarding the,
Yeah, minimal, or maybe with
yeah,
you should know that where the boundary lies, right? You should not cross that boundary.
yeah.
Right.
But again, as individuals, we want happiness. That is our goal of life.
Yeah,
So
right.
in that happiness, we find through our relationships, important
Mhm.
relationships. But
Mhm.
when we avoid them, we feel life is okay. We are devoting for Krishna, but
Mhm.
they also say that Krishna sends people in that form.
Mhm.
If
Yeah, so
something is lacking in your life,
so that's why. So that means you don't have to like neglect them completely. Just you should understand where is your boundary, and then you keep on chanting very sincerely. So what will happen, Mataji, is
yeah.
that obviously that detachment will come automatically, right? You will not be detached. You will see that okay, this is a spirit soul. This spirit soul belongs to Krishna, just as Krishna says, "Mamai vamsho jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatana." Right? That means every spirit soul is my eternal part and parcel. So once you start having that vision that, okay, this person is also part and parcel of Krishna, I am also part and parcel of Krishna, this person is also, so we all are part and parcels of Krishna, and we are all embarking on the same journey, right? Then I think, that detachment will come, but at the same time, you will also be, kind of uh, uh, together, with them. So chanting helps, Mataji. So keep on chanting. Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a question, Prabhuji.
Yes,
As
ma'am.
you said about prasadam, Prabhuji, offering bhoga to the Lord.
Mhm.
Many times we are not in that mood, to prepare what pleases Krishna. Instead of, we try to please our. Well, I have kids. I have small kids, so many times they demand for anything special. So we make for them, right, Prabhuji? Okay, now my child is demanding this. So that consciousness, at that time, what should be our consciousness, and then will that please Krishna if we prepare whatever is required asked by my kids like that.
Okay, so first of all, Mataji, see, Krishna doesn't need our preparations. Okay, in the Brahma Samhita, it is said, Lakshmi Sahasrasata Brahma Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That means there are hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis serving Krishna. So why would he would be, after our, yes, but for pure devotees, he's always there, right? So that is one thing. Secondly, coming to your another topic, that when kids keep their demands. So let's analyze what kids try to eat these days. What will they ask for? Maximum pizza or pasta or something like that. Maybe noodles or something. So I don't see any reason why these things cannot be offered to Krishna if they are prepared with in line with what guidelines we have at ISKCON, right? Without using onion and garlic, without using the sauces that have onion and garlic, you can very well prepare them at home and offer it to Krishna, and then you can give them. So in that way, kids are also satisfied, and your bhoga is also offered. So just we have to be little innovative, and we should learn how to improvise on certain things. So some people say that it actually impacts the taste, but I don't know, this is my personal opinion again, that I haven't seen any much of a difference in the taste. Basically it tastes different, but it does not it's not that if you don't put onion and garlic in a food, then the taste will not be good, right? So
Yes, that
that,
doesn't make any difference,
yeah,
definitely,
it doesn't
Prabhuji.
make any difference.
Uh,
So just be a little improvising, and just be a little innovative in your approach. And I think the kids will also love, because at least we do at our homes, and my daughter has no complaints whatsoever so far. So yeah.
But then our
Hare Krishna,
consciousness,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, like, we have to please the Lord, right?
Yes.
So by, we are pleasing our kids now. I mean, by making preparation, we are pleasing our kids. But how do we know that Krishna is pleased? Our consciousness should be, we should please. Sometimes even we also have a craving of eating something. We'll have something.
Yeah. You eat to your heart's content, Mataji. If you want to eat gulab jamun, eat hundreds of gulab jamun if you can, right? But then just before doing that, offer it to Krishna. That is the key, right? So slowly and surely, you'll definitely. And another thing is that while cooking, your consciousness should be very, very pure. If possible, just try to play Srila Prabhupada chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra or some other, these kind of, auspicious bhajans or something. Maybe Chaurashtakam you can play. Chaurashtakam is a very good bhajan, right? Or anything, of your choice. You just keep so that your consciousness is completely pure. And while preparing, just be thankful to Srimati Radharani that because of her mercy only today you are in a position that you are being able to cook for Krishna, right? With that consciousness, if you do, then trust me, Mataji, Srimati Radharani will hold your hand and make you cook, right? So that will never go wrong, right? That will never go wrong. So just please do that. And with this consciousness, I think you can do. Krishna will definitely accept. Why will he not accept? Right?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That was wonderful, Prabhuji. She'll hold my hand. Hari bol.
Hari.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, while offering the food to Krishna, so we are not supposed to offer directly, but instead through Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
So what should be our intention while offering? I mean, how we should say Prabhuji to even Srila Prabhupada? How to offer that? See,
Yeah,
we
so
read the slokas, Prabhuji, but I don't know how.
Yeah, so the process is that if you are an initiated devotee, then 3 times you should chant the mantra of your guru, pranam mantra of your guru. Then after that, 3 times pranam mantra of Srila Prabhupada. Then 3 times Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prem Pradayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya, Namane Gaurat Vishenava. And then 3 times Namo Brahmanaya Devaya, Go Brahmanaya Hitaya Cha, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Nama. Right? So this is the process. And the reason why we do this is that we ourselves are very, very unqualified, right? And this is also one of the reasons why we accept initiations, right? I think in my initial class I had tried to explain that why do we seek initiation when the holy name itself is very powerful, right? Holy name has full capability to purify. Then why should we take it from someone else? We can directly start chanting, right? So there is no problems in the holy name. It is very, very potent and it will purify you, right? But then we are not qualified to approach the holy name. So someone has to come and give it to us, right? So similar is the case here also, that we are not qualified to offer the prasadam to Krishna, offer the bhogas to Krishna, right? So what happens is that we go through our acharyas basically. So this is the whole intent that, okay, so you can just pray to Srila Prabhupada that Prabhupada, I have tried my best with my full capability to prepare this bhoga for Krishna. If there are any offenses that I have committed while cooking, please forgive them. And please, on my behalf, offer it to Krishna. And this is what the role of a guru is, right? When you see that someone is, offering their dandavats to a guru or they are offering something good, it's not that guru is taking that. Guru is simply acting as a mediator. He simply accepts from you and then passes it on to Krishna, right? So this is what the position of a guru is. And this is what guru is there for, right? So you should not hesitate in that doing that, Mataji. Just please, with full confidence that Srila Prabhupada is fully qualified, our glorious Guru Parampara is fully qualified, they will take us through. And with that mood, you just offer it to Krishna. He will definitely accept. Yeah.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That's what actually even I wanted to know the intention, Prabhuji. So whether to offer means we are offering to Prabhupada or asking him to offer to Krishna. That was my actual doubt. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was clear. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Wonderful session, Prabhu, and wonderful question answer session. So I think this works. Wait, that we will keep the questions till the end. We'll allow the speaker to complete. This is the format we will follow. Very wonderful. I just wanted to add one point regarding the question on interaction. My Shiksha Guru says your interaction with the opposite sex, whether if it is Prabhus or Matajis and Prabhujis, should be only to the extent of what is required from the point of view of devotional service. right? Otherwise, like one of the Matajis were saying, right? Yes, the mind is so tricky, even within devotional service. Sometimes we get attracted to some kind of interactions during devotional service also. So mind is so tricky, right? So it is better that we restrict our interactions with the opposite sex only to the extent of what is required for the purpose of devotional service. That is why even in the temples also they have if it is garland making sevas, mostly it is Matajis, right? There is Prabhupada has instituted it in such a way, at least in India, right? And abroad, Prabhupada allowed a lot of things because of the because of the way it was the culture was there, in order to bring them at least to the platform of engaging in devotional service. He gave equal opportunities, but in India at least Prabhupada was very strict. Prabhupada ensured that there are and even today, if I can talk about ISKCON Mira Road, very very clear demarcation of services, that garland services, very minimal interaction between Prabhujis and Matajis, and it is best for our interest, right? It's not that these rules and regulations are liberating. Prabhupada talks about these are liberating principles of freedom, right? If we want ultimate freedom from birth, death, disease, and old age, these restrictions are actually liberating us from our material conditioning. Like Sindhu Mataji, I guess, was mentioning this. Yeah, the attractiveness is always there. Prabhupada always gives the example of cotton and fire, right? Fire and cotton. There is a tendency, there is always a tendency to get attracted. So very minimal interaction to the extent of what is required for devotional service and under the guidance of our mentor or Siksha Guru. Otherwise, we should not interact with the opposite sex, knowing well our mind. Who can know it better than ourselves, right? So yeah, wonderful session, Prabhu. And with this, we complete our chapter 9 of Nectar Devotion. We thank Prabhuji for a very, very wonderful session, for the very wonderful PowerPoint presentations with beautiful pictures, good summarization, excellent session, to say the least. Very, very grateful to Prabhu for taking time out in spite of his office schedules and other things to prepare nice PPTs and explaining it with such excellence. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And we also want to thank all of our wonderful devotees for the wonderful questions. Right? Some of these questions, at least for me, I can say that don't even strike me. So when you all ask such wonderful questions, at least even I learn. Oh yeah, this is something that never struck me. So thank you very much. It is very enlightening for all the people who are there in the session. So Virendra Prabhu and all the wonderful devotees who are asking wonderful questions. Thank you all very much for your participation and interaction. So we'll meet now on Monday, where we start chapter number 10. So this is a sequence, right? So we need to read the book very, very scrutinizingly, right? Prabhupada's books. Of course, Prabhuji has given us a nice overview of the chapter, but we need to go into the Prabhupada's book and read the chapter thoroughly, at least till the 9th chapter, and we start the 10th chapter from Monday. Yeah. So thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Nectar Devotion ki jai. Praise Abhinav Gauranga Prabhu ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Okay, so thank you very much. We can end the session now.
Yeah.
Dandavat pranam.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.